Welcome.
What's up, B10 family? I'm Josiah and I'm here with.
And I'm Sherry, Mama Duke's in the house.
And we're introducing a very special, leading the way trailblazer.
Yes.
Woman. What's your name?
Janicia.
And where are you located?
I'm in Central Florida.
Ah, cool.
Oh.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very hot down here. So
Yes. Yes. Yeah. It's right next to Georgia. That's where we live. Duh. You've been gone that long that you forgot how hot it is out?
It's like 2 years and a half. You can't blame me for that.
Yeah, I know.
But, all right, go ahead.
Yeah, we are super excited. You're another trailblazer, with positive energy. We loved your story and what you're doing. And I'm just vibing and loving the plants behind you, all that light behind you.
And I want to get straight to the questions. I was
do it.
preparing for this so much. I really appreciate you coming here too.
Thank you.
So what inspired you, or let me rephrase the question. Who or what inspired you to start gardening?
Yes. So I kind of grew up knowing about gardening and farming my whole life because my aunt is, I don't know if you know her, Dr. Gail Myers. She's an anthropologist. And so she's really big on her focus is on Black gardening. Black farming. And so all my life, she would take me to farmers markets. She would have me meet the farmers because she would organize the farmers markets. She would have a garden. She would take me to conferences, and I would just always be meeting all these people who are huge in, trailblazing initiatives with the government and lawsuits and just different things. I was able to kind of get a behind the scenes access to these people, and I just always was motivated by their independence and just everything they had going. I was like, when I have, the room and the area to garden, I'm gonna do it. And so I always wanted actually my own farm as well. And then in 2018, I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina, and they had community garden plots where basically it would be a big area and they would section them off. And the plot that I chose was about 80 different plots. And when I seen it, I was like, okay, this is my chance to actually get into it. So yeah, she inspired me and I just never let it go.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And then to have someone in your family that actually, loves Black farming and just farming in general and concerned about health, that is awesome. That is seriously awesome.
To be raised on it,
yes,
you're already in the right path since you was young.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
So if you had any type of motivation to give to someone that's starting out with gardening, what would you give them? Maybe one or two key points.
Oh, motivation. Motivation, I would say it's nothing like being able to eat what you made. Yeah. There's a difference between, going to the grocery store and you're just buying it. But when you actually sacrifice time and effort and energy to go out there and water and just take care of these things and learn to research how to grow it, being able to finally get out of this world, it makes you so proud of what you did and what you grew.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's my motive. I would say if anybody don't know if they should actually garden, or I would say just grow one thing and be able to taste it and just get encouraged by seeing what you create. It's kind of like having a child, I guess, seeing a child, you made this, watermelon, you made this cantaloupe, you made this tomato, whatever, you made that, and wonderful.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And it's also important to know what exactly is in your food. Growing your own food, exactly it's not, if chemicals are in it, it's because you put it in there, but when you go to the grocery store, you don't know what's, in those foods, hormones and chemicals and who knows what else. So yeah, I totally agree with that. And that's a good motivational tip for someone.
I feel motivated to even listen to that right now. Also, I would like to ask, let's see. Ooh, okay. Oh, okay, there we go. So how do I explain that exactly? Okay, say if there's like a person who wants to get into gardening, like they're beginning, they want to try it, but they have an excuse on top of excuse, or they say they might be in an apartment, or they haven't reached out to certain people. What type of advice would you give to them?
Yes. I said, I just like start small. So with that, I would say just grow one bell pepper plant. This is one of my favorite plants, and it's really easy to grow. And just you don't even have to have a balcony. You know, you can have some area that's well lit, very well lit. It needs to be, or if you have a balcony, you can go ahead and just grow just one plant, just grow something that kind of sparks your curiosity. I know a lot of people like to do like herbs in their windows and their kitchen or whatever. Just like get started with something small and then work your way up, work your desire up to want to like, oh, you know what? I would love some spinach, or I would really love something else, you know? And then I would also say to join some type of community. So Facebook is loaded with gardening groups, Black Girl Gardening, this gardening, all this kind of stuff. I'm in quite a few of them. And just scroll through and just get yourself motivated, or see that everybody on there are not starting at the same place. There are people who've been gardening for 10 years who gives you tips, like people who are like, oh my gosh, I don't know what's happening to my plants, all these bugs that are eating it. Somebody be like, oh, you need to go and get this or whatever, but spray it twice a day for 6 weeks. Like, people want to help other people. And so I would say get in a community where other people who have experience, or you can just see it like, oh my gosh, that looks so good. Oh, I bet that tastes so good. And you just work your encourage yourself by being around others, or studying others, or watching YouTube videos, or really join any type of community group that offers gardening tips. Black Girl Gardening, I think, is the name on YouTube, or just gardening period. They have so many different pages that I'm always getting a notification like every day of someone like saying, help, this is on my plant. I don't know what to do. It's eating up all my crops. I'm like, okay, spray this 2 times a day. Or are you watering in the daytime? Want to probably try to water more when the sun sets. They just offer tips, and you can be able to like real time help. Like somebody's going to answer you and whatever. So I love that part, because it was a lot of times that I did get discouraged gardening, and being able to ask someone something really changed everything, because I thought I knew what I was doing and it just wasn't working, or something was wrong with me. But it was actually like, okay, I didn't do something right. And it was like one little change, but they gave tips to really help me.
Yeah. And it's so important not to give up, and that's a life lesson as well as planning. It teaches you gardening and farming. It teaches you patience, and to never give up. Some things may not go exactly, one crop could go, okay, you do it the same way, and something kind of shifted, and you just have to learn. And being a part of different gardening groups, that's an excellent tip, because the gardening and farming community, they're so helpful. Unlike, many other groups, they're just willing to just give information. They want you to go further. They want you to do these things, So that is definitely a positive thing. What are your, do you have any projects that you're working on now?
Not at the moment, because I did move from Charlotte, since now I'm in Central Florida, and I'm not in the area where I can have my full garden. I don't know, that county or area was phenomenal to be able to have all those. I haven't found anything here. And then I will be in an apartment, so I wouldn't have the space. But I plan on purchasing a home in the very near future, within probably a year or so. So I would like to set up another garden. Right now, I'm just obsessed with plants, and so
they're beautiful, though. I mean, so much life behind you. It's just beautiful, and you're so inspiring. It's just, even if a person, if they don't have a balcony or a porch or land, it's like you have to start somewhere. And having life just vibrating in your in your space all around you. I mean, that's a beautiful thing. There's things that you can grow inside. So you pretty much debunked a lot of not I don't want to say excuses. Well, maybe they are excuses for people not to start. You just have to go and start, start inside, wherever you are, just start. And if you mess up, that's okay. It's part of your learning process, your growth process.
Yeah, I will say messing up is really easy. I had to debunk a lot of my myths. I would say, like, sometimes I'd be like, oh, it's too hot being outside. I'm just like sweating all day. But I learned to schedule in to go early in the morning. So I would go at 6 in the morning, or I would go when the sun was down. I didn't feel when I was done, and I kind of enjoyed it. And the cool of the day, it was perfect. And so, I had to get rid of a lot of those excuses.
That's actually excellent too, point where you're actually coming up with the schedule to help you go through, the process. And that's true. Because sometimes it's very hot in Africa. So when we were digging the holes and putting in those coconut trees, we were just like,
not easy.
The sun is, it's a different kind of hot. So
I bet. Yeah, you definitely have to set a plan, because I found that when I just went out there with no plan, I was frustrated. Nothing was wrong. But when I said, okay, Monday, Thursday through Friday, I was going to do like my first 5 minutes of weeding. Then I was going to do, then I was going to water. And then these days I'm not going to the garden, and I was going to fertilize every 2 weeks. Whatever. It was very intentional with what I did, so that if something was going to take a long time and it was going to get really hot, I'll be like, okay, let me piece it out so I can do it when it's cooler in the day. So I'm not out there all day when it's hot. Because I knew that when my mindset, I wanted it to continue to be enjoyable. I didn't want my mindset to change, and I'm just like, so I don't want to be out there. I love it. Enjoy it. So
And I like to ask, like, say somebody's just not starting out, and like what's the problems that, if you can, like, I say give them a warning, like saying like be careful or move a certain way towards, like, say, I'm gonna say it for example, say somebody wants to grow like mint, right? Say if the mint is not growing how they want to, or like what's some problems that you encountered that you would pass on to somebody else so they don't have to go through those same mistakes that you did when you first started.
I was not aware of what to grow in what seasons in every time of the year. So when I was in in Florida, there's one season, but there's 4 seasons. So I didn't know what I could not grow in one season. I also didn't know what I really know. Kind of there, you don't want to grow because that climate is not conducive to a bunch of fruit. So I mainly just grew vegetables. And I had to kind of give up, growing a bunch of strawberries. Like, you can, but they're not going to be like as juicy and just, they're not going to be what you want them to be. They're going to be like small little things. So you need a bunch of them. To be aware of grow at what time of year, be aware of, I would say they need to learn how to plant things, and when the instructions say a half an inch or whatever, like follow those to a T, because I would kind of plant everything like it was one thing, no matter if it was carrots or tomato plants. Like, I would plant them all, spinning barely on the ground, but something of broccoli, like, you need it deeper, and I didn't understand that. And so a lot of my things were shallow, and they just died and fell over. They didn't last a storm. So I would say really research each vegetable or fruit that you're trying to grow, and make sure that you know what you need to do with each one. And that helps you overcome a lot of frustration and challenges, because you go into it knowing that you're doing the right thing, and you just continue to maintain it, versus you started off wrong and now you're trying to like remedy find out what's happening. Like, no, start on a solid ground, just plan it right. Make sure you're picking the right things at the right time.
That's an excellent.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
And to wrap it up a little bit more, what's like a message that you'll give to your fellow trailblazers? Like, it could be something like, it could be inspiring, another thing such as motivation, or like just to guide them in the right way as you're also leading the way, to like guide them the same way how you're taking action in a positive way.
I would say gardening, I would say even if you don't particularly love gardening because it's organic, or you don't have to garden organic, but I would suggest growing organic, or just you don't want to garden because you want to eat your own food. But gardening does so much for your mind, and so if anything, I would say garden for your mental, being the peace that you get when you are out there. I've started gardening a little bit before the pandemic, but when I was really thriving in my garden was during the pandemic. And so I couldn't go anywhere, nothing to do. But when I would go out there at 6 o'clock in the morning and it's cool and I'm hearing the birds chirping and I'm just listening to my music and I'm just doing what I'm doing, like I just felt so much peace and so much, I thought a lot about things that I normally wouldn't think about because I'm always, on the go or busy or talking on the phone or whatever. Like I was able to actually think. I was able to work through issues and problems and think about like, okay, how am I going to reply to someone? Or like a situation may have happened. I'm thinking about, okay, what should I say? Or I'm just really examining myself and my life, and it's really beneficial for your mindset. And so I say, if nothing else, gardening gives you a peace of mind. It just helps you mentally and emotionally with your day-to-day life.
Oh, that's beautifully said. I don't even know what I'm going to ask you after that. Well, that's like almost a mic dropper. What can you tell us your social media handles so people can follow you and any projects that you're working on, whether it's job related or just drop your handles.
Everything that I have YouTube is at Genesia Girl, GNIA. I'm really on a journey to bridge women. And so right now my mindset is really helping women step out on faith and just do things radically that they wanted to do. And so whether that's move or quit a job or just really better themselves and become their best self, that is really what I do. And I also really what I'm trying to also do, well, I'm a coach for that. And so I have a coaching program with that.
Beautiful.
Wow. Women plan. So I really love helping to plan, strategize their life, whatever, a new add. And so along with that, planning your garden, planning how you're going to incorporate that to your life. I really love planning, strategizing, and really helping people see something that's overwhelming that they can actually tackle it. It's not that overwhelming if you have a plan in place.
Yeah, and that's beautiful. Stepping out on faith, because fear of the unknown. It's really, we don't have that much control that we think we have and we want to have. When we came here, it was definitely jumping on faith. Like everything went wrong. We didn't have everything in place, and it's like, go, just do. Just do what's right. Just go and do. Follow your purpose. Follow and stand on your purpose. So I love that you're coaching other women. To just motivate them and inspire and just help them. Or assist them, I'll say, instead of help, assist them and evolving and just standing on their purpose and not to fear, because it's a waste of energy. We're never going to know everything. We're never. So, and no time is the perfect time, but it is the right time. You just have to just do.